Hare Krishna. So we have seen about living entity, Prakriti and their union or interaction. And now let's try to see what Krishna wants to speak about the super soul. Now he's going to speak exclusively about super soul in shloka number 23. Upadrashtanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwarah paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purushah parah. So here Krishna is saying, Dehe asmin purushah parah api. There is another transcendental enjoyer, Purushah, in this body. Who is he? Here he is saying, Maheshwarah. He is the Lord. Then Bharta Bhokta, the supreme proprietor. And then the next one he is saying, Upadrashta, overseer, Anumanta, permitter. And this personality who is there in the body along with the individual soul, he is called as Paramatma iti uktaha. He is called as Paramatma, super soul. So basically here Krishna is saying that in the body there are two Purushas. One is the individual soul who is artificially trying to be the Purusha, and another one is the original Purusha or real Purusha, that is Paramatma or super soul. It's a very, very important shloka which actually speaks about the Paramatma feature of the Lord. Now, obviously, in the previous verses, to be more specific, from verses 13 to 18, it was discussion on Paramatma only, super soul. But then here, in order to clearly show that Paramatma is situated in all bodies along with Jiva, but different from Jiva. I repeat, Paramatma is situated in all bodies along with Jiva, but then he is different from Jiva, Jivatma. So this particular verse Krishna is speaking, just to establish this point. So let's see some of the important points here. It is stated here that the super soul who is always with the individual soul is representation of the Supreme Lord. So this we have seen before also. That Paramatma is the expansion of Lord Sri Krishna. He is not an ordinary living entity. Monist philosophers take the knower of the body to be one. They think that there is no difference between super soul and individual soul. So there are monists who think that everything is one. So individual soul, super soul, no difference. For such people, Krishna is telling this particular verse that no, there is another personality who is the real Purusha or real enjoyer. He is para, transcendental. The individual soul enjoys the activities of a particular field, but the super soul is present not as finite enjoyer, nor as one taking part in bodily activities, but as the witness, overseer, permitter and supreme enjoyer. In Upanishads, this analogy comes where there is a tree and on the branch of the tree there are two birds. One bird is eating the fruit and another bird is watching that bird eating the fruit. Now the one who is eating the fruit, that is all of us, living entities. We are doing activities, we are doing karma. But when it comes to another bird is just witnessing. And that witnesser is Paramatma. So here, very nice words are used. Witness is overseer, he is permitter and he is supreme enjoyer. So anything that we have to do, anything that we desire, who gives the permission? Who sanctions that? It is Krishna who sanctions. So he is called as Anumanta. And he always keeps an eye on us what we are doing. So he is also called as Upadrashta. So this is a very important point that we have to understand, that the super soul is always there with the living entity. Doesn't matter which body the living entity is in. He is always there. As a eternal well-wishing friend, he is always there. He always keeps a nice watch on what this individual soul is desiring. He makes a note of it and he keeps. And then in the next life, he gives the intelligence. He gives the intelligence saying, You wanted to enjoy this, now it's the time, go and enjoy. So in this way, Lord does the job of a servant. To whom? To his own servant, who is thinking artificially that I am a master. That is all of us. Now here it is said that his name is Paramatma, not Atma. He is transcendental. It is distinctly clear that Atma and Paramatma are different. The super soul, the Paramatma, has legs and hands everywhere, but the individual soul does not. So this is quite clear. Paramatma is all pervading and Atma is restricted to one particular body. That is all of us. We are restricted to the particular body that we have got in this life. Because the Paramatma is the Supreme Lord, he is present within to sanction the individual soul's desiring material enjoyment. Without the sanction of the Supreme Soul, the individual soul cannot do anything. The individual is Bhukta or the sustained, and Lord is Bhokta or the maintainer. There are innumerable living entities and he is staying in them as a friend. So we all are the personalities who need help, who need to be maintained. And who is Krishna or who is Paramatma? Paramatma is the one who is the maintainer, Bhokta. Of whom? 1, 2, 3 living entities, 4, 5, 6, how many? Infinite. How many ever living entities are present in this universe? Paramatma is there with each and every one of them, doing the same activity of Anumanta, Upadrashta, and also he is the supreme proprietor, he is the maintainer, and he is also the supreme enjoyer. Now here it is said, the fact is that every individual living entity is eternally part and parcel of Supreme Lord, and both of them are very intimately related as friends. But the living entity has the tendency to reject the sanction of the Supreme Lord and act independently in an attempt to dominate nature. And because he has this tendency, he is called the marginal energy of the Supreme Lord. So this is a very, very critical situation of the super soul. He is always there with the individual soul. He is the one who is sanctioning, he is the one who is doing so many things. But then we, individual souls, we are so rebellious. We just reject the super soul. We don't hear to what the super soul wants to say. And we are marginal potency of the Lord. Why we are called as marginal? Because we can actually fall in either of the place. We can either fall in the material energy of the Lord, or we can fall in the spiritual energy of the Lord. So over here in between, it all depends on the choice of the living entity. So if he chooses to be with the material energy, he falls on one side. If he chooses to be with the spiritual energy, he falls on the other side. So that's what is given here, that he is marginal energy. As long as he is conditioned by the material energy, the Supreme Lord as his friend, the super soul, stays with him just to get him to return to the spiritual energy. The Lord is always eager to take him back to the spiritual energy, but due to his minute independence, the individual entity is continually rejecting the association of spiritual light. This misuse of independence is the cause of his material strife in the conditioned nature. See the situation, let's try to understand. We rejected the Lord and we are here for enjoying. And who gave us this place? Lord created this place, this material world, and then he sent us here. He also put us in illusion so that we don't see him. If we see him, then we will not be able to enjoy. So he has put us in illusion so that we feel that we are masters and we can enjoy. And now he is also there as Paramatma with us in the heart. Why? To make us realize that no, this is not the place where you are supposed to stay. Come back. Come back to spiritual world. And for coming back to spiritual world, these are the activities that you're supposed to do. So keep doing this. So till the point the conditioned soul is there in this material world, Paramatma is always there with him. He tries his best. He tries his best as an eternal well-wishing friend to take him back home, back to Godhead. And then here it is given. The Lord therefore is always giving instruction from within and from without. From within he is giving instruction as Chaitya Guru, the Guru who is within, and from without he is speaking from an external Guru as a person. From without he gives instructions as stated in Bhagavad Gita, and from within he tries to convince the living entity that his activities in the material field are not conducive to real happiness. And what does he say? Just give it up and turn your faith towards me, then you will be happy. Thus, the intelligent person who places his faith in the Paramatma or Supreme Personality of Godhead begins to advance towards a blissful eternal life of knowledge. It's a very, very important point. Paramatma is speaking, he's shouting loudly that no, don't do this, do this. But somehow we are not able to listen to Paramatma. Why? Because we are contaminated. Our consciousness is contaminated. So when we practice devotional service, when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, the contamination gets cleared and we'll be able to hear what the Paramatma is saying. This is how the pure devotees act. For pure devotees, they can clearly hear what the Paramatma is saying and they act only according to what the Paramatma is saying. In this way, the pure devotees, they always are in the mood of a servant, serving the super soul. So in this way, we understand that Paramatma or super soul is always there with the individual living entity, trying his best to reclaim him back home, back to Godhead. This is what the Paramatma feature of the Lord is doing. And it's not about just in human body, he's there in every body. So this is what is a point that is a highlight when it comes to this topic of Paramatma. Now here, after speaking about Paramatma, now Krishna is going to speak about what benefit a person gets, or what is the result of understanding about Paramatma, that is super soul, about Atma or Jivatma, that is soul, and the relationship with them. So this is going to speak in the next shloka. So let's see that in the next video. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,